We can go more into my circus later on, but we've got Palutena and we've got Samus up to bat. Let's see how things
Circus, let's call it
look.
that. Yeah. It's about as apt a description as I suppose we're going to get. Either way,
Yes, sir.
the losers top 8 we go. Antimony versus Stage Hazard. Antimony playing the Palu, so not necessarily out of character, but Stage Hazard gonna want to slow this game down, and Antimony wants to give him absolutely no room with which to do so.
Palu has all of the tools in the world to be able to make this a nightmare matchup for Samus. And even though Samus does have decent like CQC moves, like jab 1 and back air in particular, I feel like are going to be really useful. But like Zair to confirm into any of the projectile hell that Samus is known for is going to be super important for trying to take out Infinite.
Yeah, so it seems. Now is Kenya with this whole thing on Town and City, that back throw of both of these characters going to come in very much in handy. Antimony losing that first stock. Maybe not what you would have expected from the first 10-15 seconds of this matchup, but that fall off nair is something you kind of have to expect from pretty much every single Palutena. Makes it back, resets the neutral, and yeah, this is very quickly becoming Stage Hazard's game. So gotta respect it, but Antimony needs counterplay, needs it fast.
They're just playing out from out deep with these haymaker aerials, and I feel like that's. I mean, don't get me wrong, those are great aerials. We see as the final hit of up air manages to poke out and get the kill, but you can't just do it from all the way out there. I feel like if you were to do it, Rar Bear would be the answer, or even dash attack if Stage Hazard's going to commit to more of the grounded game. Like you want that safety, and Howard has that safety. Nair, great combo tool. Not the best of approach options, as Stage Hazard is now taken 2 times to punish to fatal effects.
Antimony now trying to read that reflection, was expecting a charge shot, I would imagine, or a missile. And that's kind of one of those things is you see someone countering like that, maybe you're just expecting that, like, oh, this is supposed to be, that was a misinput, or I don't know, this is some weirdly timed button check. No, you kind of have to expect a projectile at any point, especially from a Samus, particularly on Wi-Fi, if we're being completely honest. Looking for that F smash, would not find it. Antimony giving him no room to land such a move. No chance to land such a move, even. There's plenty of space in between the two. And the forward smash is going to catch Stage Hazard just above the ledge. Very dangerous territory for anyone to be announcing. Down to their last stock as well.
Still very doable. Like, two good strings, and Samus is on death's row. And even then, like, Antimony has had really good control of space with auto reticle, but when it comes down to the CQCs, where Stage Hazard really shining here. So if Antimony can, like, tie things up with that, I feel like this should be the matchup on paper, but Stage Hazard is refusing to let Antimony, like, find a way. That whiff charge shot might have been the nail in the coffin there. I don't know if Stage Hazard's going to get a chance to charge another one. They aren't going to do it in this game. Game 1 going right to Antimony.
It's crazy how Antimony has a charge shot whenever they want, and also it goes upwards, and also it's their up smash. So, yeah, that's game number 1.
Up smash is so good for covering the ledge.
It's a little ridiculous how how that seems to work, isn't it? But either way, that's going to be to Stage Hazard's, to Antimony's benefit. Stage Hazard seeming to have a pretty decent start to that game, but Antimony very, very quickly taking back over and really starting off, really keeping up with where it started off, where it was just them winning the neutral interaction, piling on as much damage as possible before Stage Hazard could even really react. And now as we go to game number 2, Stage Hazard needs to find these kills a lot sooner, I would imagine, as we are going right back to Town and City. Destination remains the same, but Stage Hazard hoping that the result is different. You'd think that he had the space to make this thing happen, but Antimony, again, staying on Stage Hazard like white on rice. Just no room to breathe whatsoever.
It's no fault of Stage Hazard. Stage Hazard played game 1 really well, but I think Antimony just picked up things in a quick enough pace, and I mentioned this very briefly in the last game, but I feel like Zair is like the real calling card to Samus taking things back in this particular matchup, because it's a fairly quick, well-spaced option that gives Samus like a decent route for building up damage or potentially confirming kills. Without that, Samus has to rely on these reversal options, like the screw attack out of shield, like trying to get back air out whenever we see the more aggro play. It's tough. It's tough, especially while Antimony's playing more of the passive game. But jumping in, guns a-blazing, is just not the moves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, guns blazing is exactly how Stage Hazard takes that first stock, ironically enough. So, it's going to work out for them one way or another. Going to be looking for that back throw to try to give himself a little bit of stage control and perhaps pile on the damage that way, but maybe that's where the key is found. Charge up those projectiles and maybe catch Antimony in the middle of a move where you can't possibly press the shield button. Best you can do is potentially buffer for after the fact, but even then, you're taking a hitbox to the face, and that's just going to be bad news all in all. It becomes a game of timing, and if you're relying on timing, at least in the online game, that's a very, very tricky proposition, I would imagine.
To add on to that, like, Antimony's also been showcasing the threat of reflector counter. Like, one of those full charge shots could also be Stage Hazard's demise if he's just going to be pulling the trigger with reckless abandon. Like, he's got to really make something of these hits. And it's a bit of a shame, but nonetheless, like, Antimony trying to take things, like, to end out here, but kind of struggling to build up the damage here. This is more of what I wanted to see from Stage Hazard, more of the passive play. Like, the bombs to run away, I like. Retreating's there, I like. Feigning with the charge shot is what I like to see. Not surprised that up throw didn't kill, but it is what it is. It's Fowler at a high percentage, so damn near anything could kill, but instead it's going to be Antimony taking things away for a strong 2-0 performance. There was definitely like hints of life there from Stage Hazard's play, but I feel like he needed to really dial things back and just let Samus do what Samus does.